For many of us, the mere mention of Ground Zero fills us with emotion. There's just so much history there and sadness for those that we lost.
But tonight you're about to see that there's also hope for a new future at the World Trade Center site.
Fox 5's Rosanna Scotto was granted unparalleled access to the site and the memorial being built there.
Now she takes you inside with the executive director of the Port Authority, Christopher Ward.
We are 41 stories above the most famous construction site on the planet. Now, by the looks of things, it seems like the rebuilding of Ground Zero isn't moving very quickly. But we're going to take you to a place you've never seen before, deep under Ground Zero, where construction is roaring forward.
We're now walking past the northern fountain, the pool, the void of the original One World Trade Center. This is probably the most intense and complex public works project being built anywhere in the United States right now.
Before we go any further, let's get our bearings. The top of the screen is north. Here's West Street. The Hudson River's further west. This is Vesey Street. Here's Church and Liberty. Inside those four streets is the former site of the World Trade Center. This area is what we know as Ground Zero. The only thing being built here are two memorial fountains and the September 11 Memorial Park. Just north of the Memorial Park, right here, is One World Trade Center. This is where the transportation hub will be. There will also be four other structures built around the park, including sites for potential towers 2, 3, and 4, and a performing arts center. When you're walking around the World Trade Center site, you're immediately struck by how massive it really is. The view from Skyfox gives you a better idea of the scale and shows you just how big these memorial fountains are. They're built in the exact spots where the North and South Towers once stood. We're standing at the top of the Northern Memorial Fountain.
Each one of these memorial pools will be the largest man-made fountain in the United States, and we'll have two of them. It just gives you some sense of the breadth. Imagine circulating 800,000 gallons of water going over this weir, dropping down a flat surface and then dropping down to be recirculated from there. This will be a parapet with the names of all that were lost on that terrible day.
Chris promises this site will be transformed into one of the most beautiful parks the city has ever seen. And to help you picture it, we have an exclusive never-before broadcast animation. It's time-lapse of the World Trade Center site looking into the future with the gorgeous 8-acre memorial park springing to life at its center. The memorial fountains are surrounded by 604 trees. It's even more beautiful at night. A high-tech watering system for the park is in place. Truckloads of dirt are being delivered, and some of the trees will be planted by this September for the 9th anniversary. This is One World Trade, formerly called the Freedom Tower, located just north of the fountains. It's now more than 25 stories high, and it gets taller every day. The building will rise to 1,776 feet. Along with a complex construction plan, there's also a serious security plan.
Are there things that you're not telling me because you don't want to tell me because you don't want to let the terrorists know?
Yes. There's a security plan, literally, which is embedded in everything that you see around you. And a lot of it is confidential. A lot of it is part of a plan that Ray Kelly and his team have worked with us. They've been leading it. We've been working together so that it's there, but it doesn't say it's there to the public.
This is One World Trade now, and you can see it being built in the time-lapse animation. It will require 1 million square feet of glass, and when it's finished in 3 years, it will be the tallest building in New York City. But the reality is a lot of work can't be seen from above. You actually have to go deep under the World Trade Center site to see it. And for the first time ever, Fox 5 is taking you 7 stories underground.
This is as low as you can get. We're at the floor of the museum. It gives you some sense of the size.
The space is enormous and will span 13 acres.
We're now literally walking underneath the southern pool. It's above us, so we are in the space where the second tower stood.
So you can get a sense of where we are, this is the Southern Memorial Fountain from above. We are directly below it, underground.
So when people are down here, they're going to be looking up and realize that's the foundation of the second tower, the box of the South Pool. So this is what people haven't seen.
This is where the survivor staircase is going to stay?
Yes, this is its permanent location. It had to have been moved twice. It's now in its permanent location. It will be married with an escalator on one side and a set of stairs that bring you down to the museum floor. We're literally standing in the middle of the museum space. This will be the great hall that people will first experience the museum when they come from the plaza down below. You can see the new bathtub wall. Those tiebacks keep the Hudson River where it belongs, over there. The original tiebacks for the original bathtub will be exposed so that the people can see what it looked like following the days of destruction. Perhaps most importantly in this white box is the last column, which was the column that was cut by the iron workers that had all of the names and written on it, some of the Union stickers, some of the remembrances that people had left there. It was cut, removed, the Port Authority restored it. What you see here that is going to be preserved for the museum experience is the original footings of the Twin Towers. This is where the steel came down and was the foundation that locked all of the building to the ground. And so they are an important part of the narrative for people when they come and think about that day.
The museum is slated to open in 3 years. Now you're looking at the future location of one of New York City's largest transportation hubs. It looks like a canyon because workers have already removed 60 tons of soil, concrete, and steel. It's 7 stories deep, located right across Church Street from the Millennium Hotel. It's called the East Bathtub, but it will become a complex foundation that will connect 12 subway lines and the PATH train. What's being created is an underground passageway that will travel from Fulton Street and Broadway, pass through the bathtub, continue under the site, and lead to the World Financial Center and the Hudson River waterfront. In this time-lapse animation, this is One World Trade. Right here is the Millennium Hotel. This area is exactly where the East Bathtub is located, and you can see the top of the transportation hub springing out of it.
How do you know every day you're making the benchmarks?
With modern construction technology, we literally have this project completely embedded in a software schedule, which on a 3D CAD literally shows how much steel you should hang for one day, how much concrete needs to be placed, and every single day we check off the box. Did we make our schedule? Did we miss our schedule?
In this incredible animation that has never been shared with you until now, you can see the future. It starts street level on Fulton and Broadway, heads west and plunges underground into the new Fulton Street subway station. You're now flying across the 4 line through the station into the Fulton Street Transit Center with connections to more subway lines. Then you enter that East Bathtub area, only it's now a spectacular climate-controlled transportation hub designed by the architect Santiago Calatrava. It holds 500,000 square feet of retail space and connects to the PATH train system. Then it continues through a transit hall that leads you further west to the World Financial Center and the Winter Garden. Ultimately, it will connect you to the Hudson Riverfront.
This will be the new downtown. People will be scurrying to work on a rainy day. There'll be family members are here thinking of their loved ones. There'll be office workers having lunch. There'll be tourists visiting downtown that you can just begin to get a sense of the size and breadth of what downtown was finally going to be.
Here's the East Bathtub now, and it's projected to look like this in less than 4 years.
One of the most incredible things about this project that the public has not been able to really see or experience because it's a construction site and they're isolated from it is just the size and beauty.
What's it like for you to be working here at Ground Zero?
I was with the Port Authority on 9/11. For me, it's not only a dream come true, it's just an honor.